John, I know we're coming up close to our time. I know you've got stuff to get done for your day. So every Saturday, people can get onto Facebook, or they can, now the radio stations, they vary depending upon where you are in the country, right?
Right. Like you were mentioning San Diego, we're carried in San Diego on KCBQ out there, the AM and
Mhm.
FM, and we get a good response from that station.
That's
We've
awesome.
added quite a number of stations right now. We're up to
Mhm.
about 95 stations that run the show. In the original days when I was telling you when I started, I got the Pet Show was up to 250 stations, but
Oh,
that
wow.
was when mom and pop owned radio.
Sure.
No, it's not mom and pop anymore.
Oh,
But
no, it's
but
huge
if you can't get it
corporation.
on your radio station, you can get it on Facebook Live at Talkin' Pets Radio. That's our tag at Talkin' Pets Radio. No G in Talkin'. And you
Mhm.
can get it on X and Instagram there. But you can get it on your smartphones on pound 250 on Saturdays between 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Um, Alexa, CRN4 tune in. That's the path. That's a network.
Okay.
Um, at 5 to 8 Saturdays Eastern time. And you can get on the website, talkinpets.com. And then all of our archives and everything are under the podcast button. So you can go back and listen to any of the shows. And I'm telling you, we make them fun. You have your
Oh my
signature song every
god.
time you come on.
We
And
have so much fun.
how do we
We
solve
do.
a problem like Maria?
You can't. I'm not solvable, even though everybody
Exactly.
keeps trying. Not happening, you
Yeah.
know?
You'll
But
always be my Sound of Music woman.
I know. I know. I love it so much. It makes me feel so good. You've always been like such an amazing host. And like from day one, you just invited me in with open arms. And, we've become friends over all these years and that. So I still do the show with you, as I do a little fill in here and there. And I stay here and the other side of the state, which is what's so amazing about technology. And
Yeah.
also, it's great that you're on social and that you have your website, because people who listen to me across the world can tune in and check your show out too. So let's get you
Definitely.
some more stuff going on.
Some
Um,
newbies, come along and
yeah,
join us.
definitely some newbies and just some fresh meat. Come on, bring it in. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love it, John. I can talk to you forever, and we'll have to do this again.
Well, we
For
both have the
sure.
gift of gab.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, just
And it's funny because when I went to a high school reunion one time, it was my 20th high school reunion. It's the only one I went to.
yeah.
But the kids or the people, adults now,
Uh-huh.
they were all like, "Oh, you were always so quiet in high school, and now you're hosting on a national talk show. Like how?" But it's like once I started doing it, I learned myself how to speak and how to talk.
Mm,
And
yeah.
as you could tell from today, and you know me for many many years,
Yeah.
now I don't shut up.
I know. I got into trouble all the time in school, like progress reports, report cards, that I talk too much. Maria's
Well,
doing really well, but she won't stop talking. I would get in trouble all the time. All the time.
Well, it's like when we start talking animals and stuff like that, I could definitely talk about that for forever. I
Forever.
mean,
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
so I
Forever.
mean, honestly, Maria, I gotta say one thing. It's like, you've been a joy to my life, and you
Aw.
know that. And it's always great when you come onto the show because I like to put some music in that surrounds you and everything like that, and like we just talked about with the Sound of Music.
Excuse me.
But it's always a joy. But the show means the world to me, and it's my baby, basically. And I love giving back. I just love to entertain people, and I've always wanted it to go bigger and bigger, and but I'm hoping that I'm around for a lot longer because we both have our ailments, as you and I know,
Yes. Yes,
and
for sure.
yeah. So, but we'll see. But as long as I can be out there and still breathe, I'm hoping to continue to do the radio show Talking Pets for
We'll
much
always
longer.
be talking. Well, even though I have the flu right now, it's killing me right now. But
Yeah,
we'll always be talking about animals. We'll
yep.
always be giving back. Um, and we'll always support each other on
I
this
always
journey.
say animals are the true beauty on this planet.
Hmm.
I mean, it's much more so than people these days. I always say
Oh my
you know
God.
the behavior of an animal for the most part, what's going to happen.
Yeah.
With people, you don't always know.
No. And it's like with dogs anyway. I can say it's very black and white. What you see is what you get. You do kind of know, hey, this is a friendly dog. This
Yeah,
is
I got to tell you, I got to share something with you though. On
yeah.
on doing the radio show, it it floored me, and I was like overwhelmed. But all of a sudden, I go to my mailbox, and there's a card in my mailbox, a Christmas card, and in it was I don't know when you've been on the show. Do you remember? I call him Professor John.
No.
John lives out in Idaho. He lives right by that house where the 4 students were killed.
Oh.
The 3 girls and the
Yep.
guy in their home.
Yep.
So John listens to the show. Well, he sent me a check in order to buy pizza and everything like that for the crew. And I was like, I was floored. I mean, it was like, it was awesome.
Yeah.
So it was like an acknowledgement that I talked about earlier that, we're doing a good job and we're entertaining and putting out a good message.
I feel
And,
like it's those little things too.
It is.
You know?
They help.
Yeah.
Because you know as well as I do, broadcasting is hard. It's a tough business.
Tough. I tell people that all the time. I'm like, you could be listening to one show or one set of type of music one day on your way home from work, and you turn the radio on in the morning and it's completely different.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. When that's first realized that this long time ago, I was like, wow, this is intense.
It's a lot of work.
Growth.
But when you love it, it's not really work.
I know. I
always say I love the show. I love what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I don't love who I do it with, in terms of like not people on the show,
right?
But those ones that are higher up on that ladder, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you've got that whole little surrounding thing atop.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's always barking going on, and it's not necessarily a dog.
Not dog. Not the dogs for sure. But yeah, John, listen, I love you. I am so blessed to have you here on the show. And we're gonna do it again when I'm feeling much better, hopefully.
Yeah, you get better.
Again. Yeah.
Get better.
Well, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and
honey.
Happy 2026. May it be better than this last year.
It's not going to be better until it's over. In another 3 years. So
yeah.
It's not going to be better. We're all going to talk. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It's like
we'll just leave it at that.
Right, exactly. So we will be okay individually and together as friends, but yeah, no. That's all bullshit up there.
It truly is a different world for us right now.
It is.
You know what? It's a different world for the animals too, because there has been a lot of things that have happened recently that have taken away endangered species status from certain animals, like the wolves.
That's right.
And also in terms of the way animals are treated in this country, a lot has changed that as well. Let alone what's been done to our environmental issues and our green issues, which are important.
That's right. So, that's right. Before you have a few more minutes, John?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Let's just talk a little bit about that. The changes with the animals. There's been a lot of animal cruelty in this state recently, with trainers, dog daycare provider, and groomers, and just in this state alone. And let's not forget the moron who tied Trooper up, the bull terrier during Hurricane Matthew, right, to die. But I will say that the laws in this state slowly are starting to become a little bit more strict, which is great, and which is amazing. And then I also am going to be actually just pulled it up before I got on with you. I saw a news clip about laws for trainers. And what people don't realize pretty much anywhere, but there isn't any required licensing or anything for daycare providers, for groomers, for dog trainers. Um, and so anybody could just be like, hey, I'm a dog trainer and have zero education in evidence-based based methods, which is so important that you're not harming animals. So I am really hoping that we see even more changes, more jail time. And I think that we should be licensed, not just the licensing that's happening now is so I can be a dog trainer in Port St. Lucie. Period. That's all. That I could practice. So I pay the county, like whatever it is a year, $50, just to say, hey, here's a fee. It's not licensing for being a dog trainer. So we need more of that.
But I think too, you're seeing a lot of different organizations out there that are sticking up for animals. And I mean,
Yeah.
one, I've interviewed PETA many times, and I know
Mhm.
Ingrid Newkirk, of course,
Mhm.
who runs it.
Mhm.
And the thing is they do a lot of good. There's a lot of silly things they do, but
Well, yeah,
they
but
they get
overall.
press, and the
Mhm.
press is where the acknowledgments come from, and they
Right.
get the word out that way. But there's a lot of good that they do with PETA,
Mhm.
100%.
Yep.
But then also there's another one that, and you may want to look this up yourself, and
Mhm.
maybe you'll interview Janelle sometime. She's
Mm.
really nice. I do recommend her with you. It's called animalvictory.org,
Oh,
and
I'm gonna jot that
they get
down.
into a lot of different cases of animal abuse,
Mhm.
and like what you're talking about. And we use some of those stories on my show. And I've had people call up and say, why do you put that out there about this dog being tortured? And I said, we put it out there for that reason. It made you call. It made you
Right.
think. It
Right.
made you realize the fact that we don't live in this society where animals are treated, equally as humans, or they're treated well. There's a lot of
Mhm.
crazy people that abuse animals. And you know as well as I do as well, Maria, that animal abusers eventually turn into human abusers. And
Oh,
that's where
yeah.
we've had Son of Sam, Jeffrey
Yep.
Dahmer, Ted Bundy. They were all animal abusers.
Mhm.
And then they got bored with abusing animals and they
Mhm.
moved on to humans.
Yeah.
So if you see something, say something.
Mhm.
And if you
Yes.
see animal torture like that, you definitely want to report it,
Yes.
whether anonymously or not. But like I said, some of these organizations that are out there are doing a lot of good, and that's one thing that
Mhm.
I'm honored about is by utilizing some of their stuff and putting it on my stuff, and
Right.
now it's on your stuff, like
Right.
with the podcast and everything.
Yep.
That more and more people are aware of it. That animal
Mhm.
abuse is real, and there's a lot of
Yes.
people that some of the stories are horrible.
Right.
What you hear, but
Yeah. I mean, this one case that I'm going to cover is a dog daycare provider. The dog came home with a broken jaw. And let me just tell you this. Let me tell you something. These owners didn't even register that the dog was hit. It came out later that the dog was punched by this guy because the employee said something. So it's really imperative that pet owners really take it seriously. If you drop your dog off somewhere or your cat off or whatever to a groomer, whatever, that I don't care where it is, and your animal comes home with any kind of injury, you better start questioning and you need to take your animal to the vet, period. Right then and there, and document the hell out of it. Here's the other thing that everybody needs to know is that if the people that you're bringing your pets to do not have any qualifications, and I mean legitimate qualifications, real training, real certifications, then you stay away from them. Just stay away because this kind of stuff happens,
right,
you know? And
100%.
as a previous doggy daycare owner, things did happen. Dogs would get a scratch or a cut or something, but I would immediately, I'm on the phone oh my God, Rex, they were playing and they were jumping around and they got scratched and whatever, have a cut. I'm going to take them to my vet, or do you want me to take them to your vet? Like, what do you want? So it's complete and open transparency, and people should have insurance too, liability insurance, like all the things.
No,
People need to really, our dogs and cats, they can't talk. So they can't come home and say, this one did this to me, or that type of thing. So we have to advocate for them as owners, you guys, as pet parents. You guys need to advocate for your dogs and cats, and do the homework, do a deep dive. If you insult somebody, go to somebody else. That means
you
they
know
don't
what I
care.
like though with some of these organizations, if you go
Mhm.
to like dog sitters or whatever, or kennels or whatever, is
Mhm.
now they have cameras all around,
A
and
lot of
they
them do.
give you an app for it that you can go on
Mhm.
that app and you can keep a track on your dog and
That's right.
watch.
That's right.
That just having them, not to say that you're going to sit there for 8 hours because you're working and watch your dog, but those people that are taking care of your pet, they don't know when you're watching.
That's
So
right.
they're not going to do something abusive to an animal
Mhm.
because they're going to think, uh-oh, I'm being watched.
Right. Exactly.
So the evidence will be in the pudding, you might say. So
Yeah.
if you find people that have those cameras around like that, I would go there first before I'd go
Mhm.
anywhere else without them.
And it's a really important interview. Like for Tony, before we got Lovey, our new dog, when he was younger and cleared from he had a bilateral break because somebody did abuse Tony. Somebody did hit Tony really freaking hard to break his jaw bilaterally. Um, but I wanted, he needed socialization. He needed to play. We're older. I'm a full time wheelchair user. Can't run around with him. And plus, there are things that dogs, only dogs can teach one another. And I found a daycare. They're fear free based, etc. However, I went there with him. I just showed up with him and hung out and just questioned and called and did all the things, watched videos, everything, posted on the community, Port St. Lucie community. What daycares have you guys used? Or have you used this daycare? And just a lot of great feedback. And unfortunately, because of all the medical, he was very afraid, and we tried a couple times. The first time he's like, I'm not going back there. And we did finally get him back there, but he was just too nervous and stuff. He was just like, no, too much. What are you going to do? And I would wait in the parking lot and I would call him, be like, hey, and then one time they're like, hey, you still here in the parking lot? Come back, get him. Went and got him. But that was a great team of people to work with for me. And they were very serious, and I questioned the hell out of them, So we have
Well,
to protect our pets.
that's another thing too, is if you're adopting a dog or a cat or whatever, if they don't answer all your questions, then you may want to consider somewhere else because they should
Exactly.
know everything about that animal.
Mhm.
Granted, if it's at a shelter or a rescue, sometimes they are dumped off,
Right.
whereas these people don't know anything about them.
Mhm.
But being with that animal in a amount of time, that person should know what the behavior is like, what they're about. If
Mhm.
they are scared, if they deal with separation anxiety or they don't.
Mhm.
So just ask as many questions as you can.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, when you adopt, um, it's for life. It's for the life of that animal. So anywhere from that 12-year to 20 some years, you want to dedicate your life to that animal because animals are not throwaways.
Mm-mm. No. And you mentioned you had parrots. I mean, parrots outlive us, so,
Yeah, 70, 80, 90 years.
right. Oh, it's a big responsibility, and we really need to do them a better service. So I know we do, I know our listeners do, but maybe if some of our listeners are like, oh, I didn't even think to ask, do you have insurance, or how do you handle it if a dog gets into a fight with another dog, if it's a daycare, or, what are your training methods, and how do you correct da da da, and ask them these questions, and you'll start to flesh out a lot of
Well, and
information.
on the other side, you need to be careful too because depending on if you're adopting a certain breed of dog,
Hmm.
your insurance company is insuring your home,
Oh yeah.
Um, Depending on the breed of dog, in certain counties or cities, not everyone,
Mhm.
but that insurance company may drop your policy because you maybe, for instance, brought home a certain breed that they consider to be aggressive.
Right.
And
Mhm.
the news has done a lot of that to a lot of different breeds.
Mhm.
Pinpointed this dog is aggressive, but there are
Oh
ones
yeah.
that have a history of it, and it's not
Mhm.
necessarily their fault.
No.
But
No.
I would just make sure you do all your homework. So
Mhm. Right. You have to. You have to really, and on the flip side of that, don't be insulted if maybe when you're adopting that you're asked 5,000 questions, because that means that rescue is doing their job.
right,
They want to make sure that that pet is placed in a safe
in a
home, in
good
a
home.
safe environment, right? I'm not talking about, oh, if you have and this is very, very, very popular. We were not going to adopt this pit bull out to you or this big, large breed dog out to you because you don't have a fenced in yard. What are you kind of saying? What are you saying to people? To me, you're saying it's okay to leave your dog outside in the fence. Who cares if you have a fenced in yard? You should be walking your dog on a leash anyway, out in the neighborhood, out in the world, getting it
Right.
exposed, that type of thing. So the criteria is crazy on that realm. But yeah, they're going to want to make sure if you have another pet at home, that's how we got Tony too, because another family was going to get him and it fell through because they wouldn't meet the certain criteria that the rescue organization wanted them to meet with their existing pets at home. And I was like, oh, we're good. We'll do whatever, we don't care,
Well,
so
you've worked in the animal field, many, many, many years, so
yeah,
people know too that
yeah,
you know what you're doing.
yeah, for sure. And that's why we're out here, because we're the experts at this, and that's why I do the show, so we can save, even if it's one animal, we can save one pet, we can
I
save
agree.
them, so.
Absolutely agree.
Well, John, I love you. Thank you so much. I'm going to
Bye,
end our
darling.
recording. Bye, honey.
I love you
And
too.
I love you too. I'm going to ask you to hang on. So, because when I hit end, I just want to make sure everything uploads well to the server. But yeah, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. John, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Everybody's
Marie.
got
I
to
love you.
tune in. I love you too. I got to tune in to Talking Pets. I've got you scrolling on the bottom for your website.
Yep.
And it's every Saturday night. And even, during the week, hit John up, or listen to some archives. Go find some oldies but goodies of me and you on there. But yeah, for sure. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, everybody. Please, let's get this info out to everybody. Okay, thanks. Bye. Love
Bye,
you.
everybody.
And make sure it